And what we're going to do today is give you the training on the operable wall partitions. We're going to show you how to set them up, the different configurations of them, and then answer any questions you may have about the setup of them. Okay, this first setup that we have here is utilizing all the walls if you want to break all the rooms up. Okay, as I was saying, they're color coded and they're also numbered, and the panels themselves have a matching label with the numbers on them. You want to keep these in order when you're bringing them out and when you're putting them in the pocket. Okay, the first ones out of the pocket are going to be your blue panels, and on your blue panels they start out number 32 and they work their way back to 21. They make up the side breakout room. So you want to bring those panels out if you're going to set up the side breakout room completely down. Once that's in place, then you can go back to the green panels. They start at number 20, which will be the next ones in the stack area. You're going to keep them in order from 13 to 20 and set that wall up. Once that wall's in place, you can bring out your red ones. They run from 1 up to 12. Once that is all brought out and set up, then your wall is completely set up. Now, as you bring each panel out, which I'm going to show you in just a second, they have seals individually that you're going to set to the floor, locks them in place. You'll be given handles for that, and the handles will set each seal individually as you go through. And also at the ends of these, there's called a lever closure, which is a movable piece that goes in and out and seals them to the walls. All right. Now we're going to drop down to this next setup on the bottom. Okay, on this bottom diagram, you can set up your partition without the side walls. And what you're going to do is you're going to bring out just the blue wall first, from 21 to 32, and you can see that's always going to be the first ones coming out of the pocket area. So once the blue wall is completely set up, you can bring the green wall in behind it. It's from 13 to 20, and that'll make up that complete wall. You'll close your doors, and then you can set your seals up. And that's the other option that you have in setting these walls up. Always remember, these numbers are very critical. Keep them in that order. Large numbers will always be out of the pocket first. Small numbers will be in the pocket first. Okay, so when you're bringing them out, you're bringing them out with the large numbers first. Don't mix that order up. And that's pretty much it. Now, the next thing we're going to show is we're going to move over to the door, and we're going to start pulling some partitions out and show you how to set them. Okay, when you're ready to set your op wall up, you're going to be given a handle, which is your operating tool for setting the seals on it. So make sure you have one of these with you. Now, if you see these pocket doors are labeled, it says open and closed on them. You're going to turn it all the way to the open position. Make sure you're all the way around. If you're not, the spring-loaded pin will come back up, and then it's going to drag the ceiling or the track. So make sure it's turned all the way to open before you open that door up. When they're both in the open position, this first leaf swings in, the other one pulls out. Swing your door all the way back out of the way. You're ready to start bringing your partitions out. Now, if you notice in the stacking area, I don't know if you can zoom in that close, there's your labels and your numbers right there. This first panel with the rubber seal is 32 blue. It should always be the last one in the pocket and the first one out. So that 32 blue, the rubber seal goes against the wall. That's the whole purpose of that rubber seal. And you're going to pull that panel out, just grab a hold of her, slide her out of the pocket. Always recommend you push from behind, one hand fairly high, the other one kind of low. And you can slide that panel out. All right, now this is the blue panel, number 32. It can go in two different areas. It can go all the way down to seal against that wall, or it can go to the side run. We're going to set it up on the side run right now. But what you're going to do, once you get it against the wall, you're going to push it tight, firm against the wall. You're going to insert your handle, and then you're going to turn the seal clockwise. Clockwise sets the seal. The seal goes down to the floor, and there's also one that goes up to the track. Locks it in place, it can't be moved. Now before you put these partitions away, you always got to make sure them seals will come up. Don't be pushing them with the seals set in place. Counterclockwise will bring that seal all the way up. And again, when the seals are up, you can roll them all the way down and then take this one around the corner and then bring the next one out behind it. Now you can do these several of them at a time, but you always want to keep them under control. Make sure your room or your path is clear, no tables, chairs, or anything that you can hit these panels into and damage them. You want at least 4 feet on each side clear when you're setting your wall up, because they do swing a little bit when you're going around the corners. But like I said, always keep them under control. Don't stand here and push it all the way to the other end of the room, because if it hits something, you're going to damage either the panel or whatever you hit on the other end of the room there. So we're going to go ahead and push this one on down, turn the corner with it, and then we'll start bringing some more out. When you hit the intersection, you're going to feel it. And once you feel that, you go ahead and turn the panel and bring it around, and then you'll feel the back one also hit it, and you're ready to push it on down. Okay. We'll bring out some more. Once you've taken the first panel out, you've got a stacking position that you can remove the panels from either side. You want to take special care that you bring the right side out first, the ones with the higher numbers, so that they don't get mixed up. When you've got several people setting up the wall, whoever's bringing these panels out has to keep them in order. Look at the labels, make sure they got the right ones, because you can bring them from either side at this point. The way they're stacked right now, all the higher numbers are on this side, so we're going to bring this side out first, and then we're going to start with this side here. Okay, that's real critical, because they can mix them up if they don't pay attention to that right there.
Oh, a little sticker.
Yep.
That's good.
Yep. They got color-coded stickers to match that diagram.
And you said it's always the high number first.
Right. The highest numbers go out first, correct?
Closest to the pocket
stickers
will
are
always be
green
the
and
lower
blue?
number.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
The green ones start all the way back here where that rubber seal's at.
Right.
We'll get to the green ones, and then they're red behind that. Okay, just like the diagram shows over there. Yeah, he wants to bring them all out. So. Okay, when you've reached the end of your blue wall, all your seals will be set. This last one you have to reach in to set your seal. All the panels are locked in place. This piece is called your lever closure. You don't want to extend it until your wall is set up in place going down this side right here. But when you do extend it, you're going to insert your handle and you're going to push this out, and it gives you a firm pressure against your other wall. But keep it back. When you break your wall down, make sure that's all the way back before you start running your other panels. Now your next wall is going to be out. It's going to be your green wall, and we're going to go ahead and start running the green wall out now. Once we have that set up in place, we'll talk about the end of it down there. Okay.
And be returning.
You retract the seal counterclockwise and you set your seal clockwise. Okay, once your blue wall is set up in place, your next panel coming out of the pocket should have this rubber seal to seal against the lead wall on the far end of the room down there. If you don't have the rubber seal, you've got them out of order. Make sure you get them in the correct order so that that rubber seal goes against the far wall. And you can bring this out. This will be your green wall. And you should be able to see the green label right inside. They're labeled on both ends, just like the other ones. Okay, when you get to the end of your green wall, you've got another one of these lever closures. You don't need to set this up at this time if you're using all the partitions. This is only to seal it against the wall when you're just using the blue and the green, this one will seal against the pocket door right here on this end, and that'll make this wall up. But for setting up the entire wall, do not extend this out. Set them all up tight and firm. Drop your seals down and just keep working your way back. Now we're going to bring out the red ones right in behind this. Okay? Okay, we finally got to the number 1 panel. It's the red panel. It's the last panel out of the pocket. Should always be the first one in, and it goes to the deep side of the stack. Once this is out, depending on how tight the wall's set up, will determine whether or not you need to extend this in or out. Bring it out, set your seal on it, just like all the rest of the panels that you set the seal, and you're ready to close your door. Now to close this door, it swings right inside. And the other trick about it is there is a back door to that pocket, because somebody has to go on the inside and close that and latch it. Okay? So I'm going to pull this closed, I'm going to go inside and latch it, and then I'll come back around. Okay, once all your panels have the seal set and you've closed your pocket door, the space you have in there can be closed off just by putting a little squeeze on there. And that's going to vary, just depends on how tight you set your wall up, but you should always have enough room to close your pocket door. You turn your handles to the closed position before you put the squeeze on. There's pins that go up into the top that lock it in the headrail, and there's a pin in the floor plate that will go down and lock the bottom in there. Once that's set up, your wall is complete. Now when you go to break it down, you're going to do the exact opposite. Remember, always pull this all the way back. You'll have to go around again from the other side in order to unlatch it, or the back door. Whoever's got access to the back door can open the back door, go inside, turn your first leaf out of the way, which once the door's swung out of your way, you can start putting your panels back in the pocket. And when you push them in the pocket, make sure you put them in just like the diagram shows you, okay? Push all the red ones in, push them all the way to the deepest part of the pocket. Once those red ones are in, the green ones come in behind it to the deep part of the pocket. Then the blue ones, you bring them in till you fill that side, and then you put the rest of the blue ones on the other side, and then the last blue panel will sit right in the middle. The one with the rubber seal will be right in the middle, so it's the first one out, last one in the pocket. Any other questions about setting up your op wall? Now there is 2 meeting rooms also that are upstairs. They're smaller. The partitions can't be mixed up. They just come in and out of the pocket. So they're fairly easy. The pocket doors work the same. You open the pocket doors up, you'll slide those out. Set your seals individually, work your way back to the pocket door. Close your pocket door and then set your last seal. That pretty much covers everything. Now there is some maintenance that may be done in a few years after. If you notice the panels start moving hard, we do have a service department that can come out and take care of that. The track should be lubricated. If the lubricant dries up, which usually takes, I don't know, it varies with the humidity and the conditions of the room, but it can last anywhere up to 5 years or better in the lubricant. But if they start to get to where the panels are real hard to move through the intersections, that could be it's drying out and it needs to be re-lubed. There's not a whole lot of adjustments to them. They have self-leveling headrails so that when you set them up in different positions, they should set up. They may not set up perfectly tight, but once you bump your next panel into it, like we just went back through and did, you should be able to get them all tight. If they get into a position that they can't be tight, then it could be they need an adjustment on it, but that may be quite a ways down the road before you have to do that. And as for cleaning them, this material right here, we use a clean nylon brush, like a tub brush, and you can brush mostly everything off. There's a mild detergent, nothing strong, nothing that can discolor it. Now there is some fabric cleaners that you can use on wall covering. You want to make sure if you do it in a spot that's inconspicuous first to make sure it doesn't stain the material before you use it. If you get stuff off before it dries, it's easy to clean, but if you get soda or something like that on there, it may be hard to clean. You may have to use the fabric cleaner on it. We always wet a rag and blot it. We don't spray it on the panel. We wet the rag and then we'll scrub it and wipe it, and then you can take a brush to them also to clean a lot of it off. That's pretty much it unless you have any more questions.